Let me tell you why I love Anchor. Like, seriously, everybody knows, that who listens to my podcast, that I'm a newbie. And I haven't had my podcast that long. But the reason why I love Anchor is because one, it's so easy. It's free and everybody love free. There's creation tools that you can record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. I'm always on my phone. Even if I'm on the go, I can record my podcast. I can edit my podcast. They distribute to all the streaming services, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Like, they do all of that for you within the app. You can make money from your podcast, no minimum listenership. Everything you need to know to make a podcast is in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's so easy. Like, if I can do it, anyone can do it. If you're passionate about something, make a podcast. It's so easy. And you can talk all day about whatever it is that you're passionate about. So go ahead and go to anchor.fm to get started. Hey, welcome to That Shit Was Poetic, where we touch on all things poetic, like music, poetry, art, movies, quotes, and famous poets. I'm your host, Nikki. So let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. I hope everyone is having a great week. I hope everyone is staying safe. If you're protesting, I commend you. I want to put out George Floyd's name will forever be a name that has gone down in history. His name has brought so much awareness. And I just want to say rest in peace to another young brother. I must say, we have to put out that positive energy. We have to keep praying. And we have to, just stay focused. Stay focused because we now have all 50 states on board with us. I know, in the past, we are not used to having as much support as we're having now. But I want to say continue to pray and continue to put out that positive energy. And I know we have a long way to go, but we're headed in the right direction. As you all know, there has been a major shift in the world, not just the U.S., not just one country, but the world. And I believe it all has to do with World Meditation Day. The world has come together to focus on one thing. And when I say the world, I'm talking about millions of people coming together to manifest, to meditate on one thing. And that was to heal this earth. I want you to just think about when you have millions of people who come together to meditate and have the same goal and meditate on the same thing. Everything is energy. Now, I don't know the complete science behind it, but just think for a second. If you have millions of people at the same time coming together with the same goal and use their mind to focus on one thing, and that's healing this earth of all the bad things that's going on in the world, the pandemic, racism, killings among black people, world hunger, homelessness, and so many other things. You have millions of people focusing on one thing, using their energy and putting it out into the universe. Can you imagine what change that can do? We now have the whole world standing with us and using their voices to talk about racism and put it on the forefront. Yes, we lost another black male, but that black male has raised awareness in the world. Sometimes God, in order to make a shift, in order for the world to shift, He makes things very uncomfortable. And as you all know, 2020 has been very uncomfortable. We have the pandemic going on with COVID-19, and we're still facing injustice from police brutality among black people. And it's very, very uncomfortable to watch your family, another person who looks just like you, get killed for something so senseless. But in order for a change to happen, God makes things very uncomfortable. And I think that's what's going on. Things are getting very bad, but they get very bad before they get better. So I just want everybody to know to continue to pray to whatever higher power you pray to. And let's all have the same goal, and that's to heal the world.
I would like to play a spoken word poem by Ayanna Albertson. I interviewed her on my podcast maybe a month or so ago, and she did a very, very inspirational spoken word poem, and it was in dedication to the protests that are going on now for the death of George Floyd. So I want you all to hear that and let me know what you think.
For black people, morning still comes even when the sun ain't rise. Even when the sun decides it ain't gonna show up today, guess it's tired of acting like everything's okay too. You see, we been mourning people, never looking forward to it, but knowing it's coming, cause that's how it's always been, like clockwork. Been our people, been time and time again, been sequel. America been binge watching black boys' bodies being broadcasted as breaking news, as if it ever stopped being news at all for us. Mourning can happen multiple times within the same day, not from the sun, but from our sons, fathers, brothers, daughters. We've even become mourners for black people we don't even know. Just know they didn't deserve to go from human to hashtag. For us, the best part of waking up isn't Folgers. Instead, it is knowing that our mocha, latte, and espresso skin survived another day in a world that is constantly trying to mug us. We wish this country loved us coffee color people much as they love drinking it. Don't like nothing pure black, so they put a little creamer in it. Say we bitter, say if we don't like it to go back, as if we backstroked over here in the first place. Say we ingrate, say we always cry about something. I say must be nice to have nothing to cry for.
I would like to play another interesting poem, spoken word poem that I heard on Instagram. So stay tuned.
We're going to take a very short break, but we'll be right back. So stay tuned.
We learned your French. We learned your English, we learned your Spanish, we learned your Dutch, your Portuguese, your German. You learned our nothing, you called us stupid. That's white privilege. And I'm sure it probably hurts for you to hear those two words, kind of like gunshots and explosions from those commissioned to protect you with whisking past your ears. What is white privilege? It is the only 5 decades of legal acknowledgement expected to correct 400 years of white transgression. It's crack versus cocaine. Blacks receiving almost 20% longer sentences for the same exact offenses. Like, for instance, a black man without a record is less likely to get a job than a white felon, or maybe it's because we're lazy and we don't work hard enough. Like, what the fuck? 400 years in the same field literally is an incredible resume builder. It is Katrina answering the government's prayers of eugenics, Dick Cheney going fishing the next day, Condoleezza on a shopping spree, Bush in San Diego, but Kanye is the one you call crazy because, like, it only took the USA 2 days to get aid to Asia, but 5 for FEMA to get to Canal Street and Esplanade. It is the one black kid who beat the shit out of the odds, but only thanks to Sandra Bullock, Michelle Pfeiffer, and the White Shadow, so now we all can make it. It is the only time thousands of white people are cheering for the black kid to win is in the stadium. It is you looking at me crazy if I told you to go back to Europe, even though we didn't have a say. It is you, all of a sudden, having a problem with immigration like this isn't even your nation. How the hell do you discover some shit that wasn't even missing to begin with? You Columbus our traditions. Had white girls twerking in high definition with multicolored hair and purple nails, but it was ghetto when we did it. Oh, I'm making you uncomfortable. Try a cramped slave ship. But wait, slavery is over now. It's just called the prison system because, like, you're not racist because you don't use the N-word, but y'all use niggas every day. What is white privilege? It is the acceptance of bombs over Baghdad, but not over Boston. It is European history being taught as a major and African as an elective. It is learning about my people only 28 days like I'm not black every fucking second as every white boy. But to fuck my brains out, not because I'm pretty, but because I'm pretty for a black girl. It is people thinking that Africa is one nation. It is the waving of the Confederate flag like you didn't lose the battle and then telling us to get over slavery. It is people saying that black people destroyed neighborhoods but forgetting that white people have destroyed continents. It is every time I bring up my plight, some white man has to tell me that I'm crazy but is kind enough to praise my English or say that we are all given the same opportunities even though he has a family history of wealth and I don't even know my family history at all. Is the justification of police brutality. Like, what did that person do? I'm sure it doesn't hurt as much when the victim doesn't look like you. It is people thinking that affirmative action is an unfair advantage instead of keeping the qualified from being unfairly disadvantaged or throwing out a qualified applicant because their name's out too African American. Is Newports imported into black communities but black boys exported for weed as big plastic asses that are called fat when we naturally have them. It is an Australian woman whose new classic of rap music is everyone who hears this poem dismisses all this truth I just spit as reverse racism. That is white privilege. Thank you.
The other spoken word artist, I am not familiar with her. And if the community can come together to find out who that artist is, I would love it. Because I would like to give her credit and, just state her name in case any of the listeners want to follow her or listen to her work. So if anybody knows who that artist is, please let me know. That Shit Was Poetic has merch, guys. Are you excited as I am? Head over to thatshitwaspodetic.storeenvy.com, and that's STORENVY.com, and grab our 11-ounce mug that you can drink your herbal tea or coffee in and enjoy and support That Shit Was Poetic. If you enjoy our podcast, grab our merch.
So thanks for tuning in to That Shit Was Poetic. I'm your host, Nikki, and tune in every Friday for new episodes. To check out our old episodes, follow That Shit Was Poetic on all streaming services, Spotify or Google Play, or follow us on the Anchor app to leave a comment. To be featured in our podcast, email or DM us on thatshitwaspoetic@gmail.com or follow us on Instagram. Thanks for tuning in.